For this project, you are going to be making a flipbook animation. So a flipbook might be made out of index cards, or you can even use just thick paper that you cut all to the same size, and you end up flipping your flipbook and having some sort of animation travel across your pages. So I ended up doing a rocket ship for mine. It doesn't have to be the same exact design as mine. You can do really any kind of animation. Just keep it really simple. So think about a simple object that you are okay with drawing over and over and over again. So I've seen this done with balloons, like taking off into the sky, or maybe a ball bouncing. That ends up pretty cool. So do some research on them if you want. There's a lot of really cool YouTube videos on different types of animations, but come up with something that you're excited about. So that'll be your goal in mind. So I have a goal of what I want it to look like, and I'm going to work through all my creative blocks, work through all the frustrations. I did have quite a few, and end up with my end goal of a rocket traveling across the pages. So have fun with it. Really, it's art. It's meant to be fun. So if you're getting frustrated, just take a little break, take a little breather, get a drink of water, whatever it is that you want to do to take a little break, and then come back to it. So I can't wait to see what you make. You will probably have to share some sort of a video of how your animation ended up looking rather than photos, but I'd love to see what you made, and yeah, have fun. Here are the supplies that you'll need for this project. You will also need some sort of a light source to trace on. So they do make light sources or light boxes for flipbooks, but you don't need to be this fancy. You can use anything that produces light and is a flat surface to draw on. So a cell phone, a computer screen. I've seen some really creative ways to make light boxes, like putting a lamp under a piece of glass, like this is done, as long as you're seeing light through your paper so you can trace. Then you'll need to come up with some sort of a plan. So I'm using my idea of having a rocket ship. I want to have at least 5 scenes. I'm going to be creating a lot more drawings than just 5 scenes, but this is about what the storyline of my project is going to be. Keep in mind that this is just the plan, just the sketch, so it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. I'm just coming up with a general idea of what I want my story to be. So try and keep it pretty simple. I'm just going to have my rocket on the ground and then taking off and showing about what I want it to look like for my animation. For your sketch, you want to make sure that you have a general idea of what your story is and play it all the way out until the end. Just because this is my plan doesn't mean I'm absolutely stuck with it. This is just my general goal of what I want to happen in my story. Now I'm coming up with a few sketches for what I want my rocket ship to look like. Make sure you're keeping it simple. This is what I'm going to have moving across my page, so I want to make sure that it's nice and simple, easy to draw and trace again and again and again. It's okay to add some details of what you might want it to look like in the end, but if you're drawing for a few minutes and you're noticing, wow, this has a lot of detail, I probably won't want to trace this at least 25 to 30 times, then maybe it's not what you want to go with for your animation. So I noticed, oh my gosh, this rocket is taking a long time. That's not really gonna work for being simple. So come up with a couple ideas, then decide on your favorite. Once you have decided on your rocket ship or whatever it is that you are drawing, you're ready to start. So with your first index card, sketch in pencil first your design. This is going to be traced quite a few times, so I want to make sure I get it right in pencil first before I outline in Sharpie. You'll also notice that I'm keeping the rocket ship on the right-hand side. This is because I'm going to be clipping all my pages together on the left, and I don't want to have a lot of drawing on the left-hand side because you won't really see it very well. So keep anything you're drawing towards the right-hand side. It's okay to move it up and down the page, but definitely keep it towards the right. I'm going to write 1 in the corner so I know it's my first page. Then carefully tape it to my window. I get a lot of sunshine through my window, so it works just as well as a light box. Then I'm ready to start with my second page. So I'm going to take a fresh index card and carefully lay it on top of the first. It's taped down so it shouldn't be moving anywhere, and then I will be tracing carefully. I'm going to be repeating this step quite a few times. Your first few pages, your rocket ship or whatever it is you're drawing shouldn't be moving a whole lot. It is so important to number your pages. You will thank me later when we have to stack all these together and you have about 25 to 30 pages. You want to know the order they go in. Especially since these drawings don't change a whole lot from drawing to drawing, so you'll notice I'll tape my second page up, and really the only thing that changed from the first page is I added some cloud shapes at the bottom where it's taking off the ground. Then my third page, the rocket hasn't moved at all, so it's exactly the same. It's not lifting off the ground yet. I'm just going to add a few more cloud shapes to show that it's starting to really build, and soon you'll start to see some fire coming out of the bottom of my rocket. But really, this rocket will take about 6 or 7 pages before it even lifts off the ground. So have fun, slow down. You don't need to rush through getting anything to move quickly. The slower is honestly the better. To help this move a little bit quicker, I kept the same piece of masking tape on my window and just used the left-hand side of it to tape down my new pages. It helped save a little bit of time. So far I've been lining up my index cards perfectly, but as I want to start moving my rocket ship, you'll notice that I'm going to start also moving my index card and how I trace my rocket. So I'll place my first index card, not the first one, I apologize, my last one I just created, so number 6, I'll tape to the window and I'll place my new card on top, but slightly leaving a little space at the top. I want my rocket ship to start moving up the page, so I'm going to make sure that it looks like it's moving up the page by sliding my index card down before I trace, so it's not perfectly lined up. So you'll see I'll line it up first and then I'll move it down, and each time I'll just keep moving it a little bit at a time until the rocket completely takes off the page. Now I'm ready to test it out. So I'm going to take my binder clip, making sure that all my pages are in order, and I'm going to start my first flip. It'll be hard the first couple of times until you break in those cards and they're easier to flip. Now I'm just going to be adding more to my drawing, but here's a good place you can stop if you're feeling frustrated. If you want the challenge, start creating your other scenes. So I'm using something to trace a circle for my earth, and I'm starting in pencil first because this is my first time drawing, and this will be my first drawing of a new scene. Another challenge will be to try and make our rocket ship look like it's changing and getting closer to us. Anything that's closer to us is going to be larger, things that are far away are going to be smaller. So I'm starting with my small rocket ship, and then my second page will have the rocket ship getting a little bit larger. I made myself some guidelines of where I want it to end up on the final page of my flip book. So that's what you're seeing in pencil. You don't necessarily need those. If you want to draw them, I found them helpful, but you don't have to have them. You can just sort of make sure that your rocket ship is getting a little bit larger each time you trace it, and moving up the page until it flies off of the edge of the page. I will be very honest, I ended up changing my design a couple of times and trying out different ways to end my story. So it's always okay to add pages or take away pages, and then once you feel like you fully have your story ready to go, try again to stack them in order and clip them together and try out your flipping. I hope you had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what you made.